In this video, I'll be showing my latest coding project where I wrote a program to find every way of playing a chord on a guitar. I'll quickly go through some terms I'll be using and what I mean when I say them. A sound defined by its frequency will be called a pitch. A pitch will then have two attributes: the tone, which will be shared with pitches with some number of doubling or halving of the frequency, and the octave, which will be shared by the group of pitches delimited by a frequency, and all frequencies up to, but excluding its double. So a pitch is uniquely defined by its tone and octave, but a tone without specified octave is not unique. Lastly, I will use chord as a term for a set of tones and a voicing as a term for a set of pitches. A chord can thus have many voicings, but enough with the technical stuff. Let's begin. Firstly, we'll need to translate the musical notes into something more computer-friendly, such as numbers. In international pitch notation, we have a letter for the tone and a number for the octave. Using pitch notation, we'll create a dictionary, a list, and functions for translating back and forth between pitches and numbers. Using these, we can represent the tuning system in numbers and extend this to the entire fretboard. This is the fretboard with valid finger positions for the C major chord. With this, we can have a sliding window representing the reach of our hand and find all valid finger positions. We add fret 0 if the tone is valid regardless of the window of reach. We also add muting of the outermost strings. And finally, we add the frets in the window. Perhaps I should explain the data structure a bit and how we get all voicings in the current window. We start at no strings and just have a node. This is then the root of the data structure. As we add a string, we branch out each entry for this string as a possibility. We expand each possibility with the entries of the following strings. This then creates a tree where each end is a voicing. To expand the data structure, to list all the voicings, we can use a really cool trick in programming called recursion. This is where we call the function from inside itself to handle the next step until some end condition is met. Traversing the whole neck, we can find all possible valid voicings and return them. We would like to see the voicings in a more human-friendly way, so let's make it plot a chord diagram. We'll need a fretboard, open strings as a circle outline, muted strings as a cross, finger positions as filled out circles, and not or fret starting number. We then find some issues. We need a cap on how many fingers we can employ at most in a voicing, as these voicings aren't feasible. If we want all voicings to be strummable, we need to exclude voicings with muting between voiced strings. We do so with this function. We also have a problem with this voicing. Even though all its tones are in the chord, the entire chord is not represented in the voicing. So we add this function. We also want to avoid duplicates, so we quickly add a function for that. Okay, so far so good. We have a system that produces all positions of a chord on a guitar, given a set of constraints. But I would like to categorize the chords based on inversion. All these three voicings contain the same three tones, but since they have different bass tones, they sound more different than positions with the same tone for bass. They are inversions of the same chord. We add a function to sort by the tone of the lowest pitch. So now, all that is left is to show every single voicing for each of the 24 major and minor chords in the chromatic scale on the guitar. Bon appetit! Okay, so the eagle-eyed of you will have noticed I completely ignored barring, that is, using a finger on multiple strings. This was intentional, partly because I didn't practice them when I first learned to play guitar, so I sucked at them. So while I'm at a truce with them at the moment, I'm not going to sing their praises just yet. I however do realize the potential they hold in improving my program, so I'll likely make a revamp including them in the future.